It has been a week. You wouldn't believe how much stuff has gone sideways and all messed up and whatever. However, I do have two things to show you. I've filmed videos of me wearing them and I have no idea where I'll pop those in, but I do have them. Both of them are a fail on a certain level, one more so than the other. So the first one is this beautiful fabric. It is a very soft, drapey cotton lawn, but still a cotton, so there's a certain stiffness to it. I cut out Burda 6326. And then I couldn't sew it. It took weeks and I wasn't doing anything. And I wanted to know why not. When I thought about it, I didn't like the neckline. It has kind of a jog and I didn't like that. I liked the idea of putting a black collar around my face, but for some reason that neckline was halting the show. I wanted to test this neckline on Burda 6135. To do that, I had to re-piece the front. So there's a seam right here where I cut it off and added this new piece that has the new neckline. That was a journey. Then I decided I would get it as finished as possible because the other thing that I was testing was the length. I love shirt tail hems. I wanted to test the length of that. The sleeves are the same ones that I've used before and I knew that they worked. A friend of mine, we were talking about getting out of your box and she said, I don't think of it as a box, I think of it as a balloon where you're sort of stretching the edges, and if it stays stretched out, you've added this new thing. But if it snaps back, that didn't work. This was a snapback. When I got to this point, I was like, do I even want to finish this? And the answer was no. Obviously not dressing up for this. This is the top at the point that I gave up. Too much cleavage for me. Fits really beautifully in the shoulder. The sleeves would be great. I wanted to test the length. I like the length in the back. I'd like it probably a couple inches shorter in the front. The reason I gave up on this is the print. It is just too much for me. And I know that if I kept going, it would just sit in the back of the closet and never come out, or I'd have to always wear a black scarf or something like that around my neck because it's just too much around my face. So, bye-bye. This one is a beautiful drapey denim colored fabric. I'm super, super fond of denim. Let me find the shoulders. Lovely, lovely drape. Identical sleeve, because why reinvent the wheel when you're testing something else. This one is Butterick 5786. Interesting thing about this pattern is view A and B have a bust dart, and view C and D do not. This is view C with the collar and the sleeves minus the placket with tucks instead and sleeve bend. So that's how this one came about. This has been sitting forever in order to get the buttons done. I'm going to put a little blurb in here of what my studio looked like a few minutes before I started filming all this and had to tidy it up. When my studio gets to that stage where I am dropping things on the floor and tripping over stuff, it's not going well. I had pulled out every machine I owned to try to figure out which one would actually do the buttonholes for me. And none of them. In the end, I thought, forget it. I won't have buttonholes. I will just sew through both layers and put it over my head. And so that's what I did. I started sewing on the buttons. And when I got to the fifth one at the bottom, I noticed the bottoms didn't align. And so I went back up to the top and I noticed the top did not align either. And it was so long ago that I pinned this thing together that I forgot that I had pinned it just to see if I could put it over my head. before I made the polka dot top. I hadn't worried about lining things up, but X number of months later, I thought I had actually marked the buttonholes, which is a good thing I did not sew them. So I sewn 5 buttons on, I had to take them off, remeasure, realign, sew the 5 buttons back on. It works. I'm happy with this one. And this is the other one, a lovely drapey rayon in a denim color. Goes with the pants, unlike the other ones. Fits beautifully in the shoulder, has a 3/4 sleeve including the cuff, and then a very drapey back with enough room for my hips. And although it has a collar, I'm okay with it. So this will definitely end up in my closet and I will wear it. I'd be interested to see how often I wear it because, as I've said previously, I'm not really a button-up shirt type. However, pushing my balloon. This week there was a bunch of life stuff and Callie ended up going back to the vet for blisters around her eyes, but I'm going to add a blurb of her helping me sew, and you'll see that she's very involved in it. So next Friday, I believe, is the 26th, Boxing Day already. I have plans to spend the day with a friend. We did that last year and are doing it again. We both want something really simple, so it looks like we'll be knitting. I will make a video at some point to post. I have a few year-end traditions I thought I would talk about, and then on the week following, which will be the beginning of January, I have a few starting the year traditions. I may or may not have something sewn that I can show you. We'll see. All right, thanks for being here.